Hey! Oh, hello.
Oh, ooh,
Who's
What the
that?
devil's he reading?
ooh.
He's looking at the centerfold of a Taylor Swift.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are we?
In pain, but otherwise
He's
okay.
in pain.
I've
He's
just
in pain. He's in Australia, and I'm in Telford.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I'm in pain. He is a pain.
Half me under desk accoutrement has all fallen over the place, but never mind. We'll deal with that later. How are we?
Do you need to rearrange yourself, Gary?
No, I'm fine. Absolutely fine.
Good.
A little story behind the magazine there that this was sent to me by one of our friends.
Right.
I won't name him, but his surname starts with an S and rhymes with Kippins.
Right.
The pages stuck together.
Eh?
The
A
pages
couple of the pages are stuck together, but they arrived like that.
That's his excuse, and he's sticking to
Just saying. Anyway, isn't this show about modelling?
it. Right. So, Gary, you've been busy all week. We've missed you.
I haven't been busy modelling. Well, I have been busy modelling because I went to the face-to-face session in Telford on Tuesday. Jake had another trip to A&E on Monday. What happened Wednesday? Can't remember. Oh yeah, I had a meeting yesterday and an appointment in the afternoon. And this is my first proper day at the bench. Although, having said that, I am making a base for my little howitzer.
Nice.
And I have started, and I have painted the base, and bits of it are falling off, and put some track marks in. And the plan was to have the vehicle sat there and a desert type house shack, call it what you will there. But the 3D print failed for the shack, so I don't know whether to do it again or try something else. And the other thing I did was I printed the base off for the Model T that we do on Friday. Unfortunately, it's a bit small. So if you put the Model T on it,
conveniently fits between the wheels.
But it worked, so that will do for a figure, and I'll do a larger version for the Model T.
There we go.
So I haven't been around much this week. I've been busy.
Yeah. What about you, John?
I've been playing with the Trumpeter MiG-23, so it's getting together. I'll just hold it up here. So there we go. You know what? I'll go to the other camera. So it's a complicated undercarriage. So it's taken about 2 days to get that together. So I've got the main gear done.
Lovely.
As you said there. And that's the way it all sort of works and everything else. It's all pretty groovy. And I'm concentrating now on the nose strut and all the extra photo etch and stuff they want me to put on that, which is just dumb, really.
How many bits of extra photo etch are they asking you to put on that?
On the strut?
Yeah.
I'd have to pull out the I haven't got the instructions.
All right, okay.
Quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Jeez.
Hang on, I need my glasses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Yeah.
8 bits of photo etch for one nose wheel.
On the strut. Yeah, it's before I put on. Oh, and there's 2 more on the mudguard as well.
Wow.
So it's a bit of work. It's getting there. It's looking like a MiG.
I like the undercarriage bays. They look a bit nice and detailed.
Yeah, once I have a wash on them, I think they'll look quite nice. Because being a resin set, the main flipper doors and the upper flipper doors are resin as well. So they've got some lovely detail on the inside of them, stuff like that. But yeah, it's looking busy. It's getting there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
And then back to that.
Krankenpanzerwagen. What about you? What have you been doing this week?
Me, little me,
Me?
I have.
Ooh.
There you go.
Ooh.
Krankenpanzerwagen.
He's
Ooh,
steamed ahead.
looking
Yeah.
Wow.
pretty
And
good.
I've done the shading on Pepe.
Pepe.
Hey.
Pepe the Giant.
Pepe.
And his little friend.
Og.
No, it's called Roblin, apparently.
Roblin the
Roblin.
Goblin. Sounds like a.
Yep.
Yeah, we won't go into that.
And it's early dinner time.
No. And we're only 6 minutes in. And it's starting to
Yay.
go. Well, the other thing I have today got on my. Get ready for this. Ta-da!
Races.
Races.
Hey.
My Navy SEALs braces because I'm sick of my trousers falling down.
Okay.
Have you ever considered a
Not-
belt?
I was wearing a belt,
Oh.
so I think there might have been some loss of weight, or
quite
certainly
possible.
loss of inches around my gut. Probably because
Loss
I
of
haven't.
trousers as well.
Yeah,
Loss of dignity and
exactly. You
uh,
know, when you have to keep stopping when you're hanging the washing out for the wife, trying to do a good thing, and your trousers keep trying to fall down.
that's why I have an elasticated belt. You can do it
And I know
really
that-
tight. It doesn't
And I know
hurt.
that saucy temptress of a neighbour of ours was looking out of her window, waiting for him to fall down. I know what she's like.
Well, she's only human.
Yeah, she's a woman after all.
You found a pretty cool website this week as well, haven't you, Gary?
I did, it's out there, and people probably know about it. But James Holland and Al Murray have a new website, WorldWar2Headquarters.com, and it's free to subscribe and join to, and I recommend it to all and sundry because it's got all the podcasts on that they do for We Have Ways, but it's also got some videos from their Walking the Ground series on there, and it's also got some reference material that James has used for some of the work that he's done, including after action reports of some of the battles and things like that. Really worth looking into, and they got a good shop as well.
Awesome.
www.worldwar2headquarters.com.
Well, WW2 headquarters.
Yeah, www2headquarters.com.
Yeah. So it's 5 W's.
www.www.www. Yeah.
It's like it.
Worth a look.
Yeah. Chat. June says, morning all in the panel and yet to turn up and all in chat.
Morning, Julian.
He says, laugh out loud, I knew I was forgetting something in the 109 build. All propeller-driven aircraft need a propeller. And I haven't fitted or painted it yet. Pillock is the word you're looking for. Unless you're doing it as in the 109 flying, because then you wouldn't see the propeller.
But you would see the nose cone.
Yeah. Ian says, pre-like notification on. Happy Thursday. Hi, Mikey and panel, and hi, Julian.
Morning, Ian.
Afternoon, Ian.
Oh, yeah, afternoon. Yeah, I forgot we're an hour later, aren't we?
Yeah. Isn't real? Does it feel like we've got loads of time before the show now? For the stream?
No. No, because I was doing chores to help the wife out, because as you know, she suffers with fibromyalgia like you do, Mikey. So
Yes. But to be fair, we've had over half an hour just sitting there chatting crap.
We have been. Yeah, we have. We've been in rehearsals for half an hour.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we've been. He says, I want to know why clear prop don't make clear props.
Yeah, scandalous.
Dieter says you are not cleared to know that, Ian.
Agreed. Morning.
Dieter, Lube and Subscribe. Greetings to all in chat on the panel now and later. There we go.
Lube and Subscribe.
Better looking Marley says, hello, my friends. Hello, Paul.
Ah,
Paul, how the devil are you, sir?
well, crap.
What part of
Duke.
Australia are you in today?
He's in Melbourne.
In Melbourne today.
Duke says, good day, all you beautiful people. Hello, Duke.
Good day, Duke.
He says, TBL Marley, that's what's your secret to using Vallejo primer again?
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
difficult. Why do Australians have such a problem with using Vallejo?
No,
Because it's a heat difference.
no, I don't know. I think I've just got a dodgy bottle because Paul was trying to explain all the tips.
That door's on upside down.
I know. I've just realised that.
Oh, that's unusual. John putting something on upside down.
Yes, yes. There we go. It goes that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Paul was giving me all the tips sort of over the intercoms and everything else. But yeah, when he was here, he gave it a go and he couldn't get it to work either. I think the bottle I've got is just shit. But I haven't got a new one because I just don't use it.
Do you thin it down, do you?
Just doesn't care.
No, yeah, tried. Still didn't
I
work.
I don't thin my primer down.
So how tricky are these doors to get on
Kevin
easy.
says,
without dropping them
they don't
through
fit
the?
very well. They don't fit very well. You got to sort of move the hinge outwards and then glue it to the hinge rather than to the frame. To the
Yeah,
door.
right.
Kevin says, good day, everyone. Yeah.
Sorry, Kat, go on.
Right, look, John. My door opens.
Ooh,
Yes.
nice.
Because it.
Mikey's back door's always open.
Ooh, matron. Kevin says, good day, everyone.
Hi, Kevin.
Paul says, Duke, step 1.15 drops of thinner, a few drops of flow improver, 0.15 drops of primer. How do you measure 0.15 of a drop?
No, what are you saying is step 1, 15 drops
Yeah.
of thinner, few drops of flow improver, 15 drops
Right.
of primer. Pressure
Pressure
at 2.5
2.5
bar.
3 thin layers, rub with tissue, then dry. So what's 2.5 bar in PSI?
Well, he would know. He's in hydraulics. I don't know.
Oh, Kerry Ann's here.
About 20
What's-
PSI, isn't it?
0.5 bar in PSI.
Is it about
Even Siri says, I'm not sure I understand.
Paul Malley says, Duke, step 2, 70% primer, 30% thinner, pressure at 1.8 bar. I just put it on 20 PSI and just spray.
Yeah. I'll just reach for another product.
You know what I do?
Uh,
On my
Duke says,
compressor,
thanks to you. Yeah.
on my compressor, I have the compressor up to 40 psi, and I control
Yeah.
the everything with the Mac valve.
With the what?
See, I've got a Fender airbrush that I can do that
Yeah.
with.
Oh.
Excuse
Okay.
the dirt. Excuse the dirty.
Is that the Fender? Is it?
That's the thing. No, this is the Procon boy. Now I've got to get a new Fender because I've bent the needle, and they're so cheap. It's cheaper to buy a new airbrush than a needle.
I've got a Fender set and I've not even used it yet.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I think I'm just waiting until I've worn the Neo out. Duke says, thanks, TBLM. Ooh, there you go. Paul's even got his own acronym now. Paul says, as per their YouTube video, look it up. All right, Mr. Demanded. Matthew says, hi everyone on chat and our Kranken hosts. Hello, Matthew.
Cranking hosts.
Joe says, good morning, afternoon, and evening. Hello.
Morning, Joe.
David's in. He says, hello, all.
Hi, David.
Hello.
Ian says, hi, David. TBG says, hi, everyone. Hi, TBG. Ian says, hi, TBG. David says, hi, Ian. TBG says, hi, Ian. Phil says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Phil.
Hi, Phil.
Julian, hurrah! The propeller-driven aircraft now has a propeller. Not that it turns,
Yay.
but I'm in the it's a model, not a toy camp, so I don't
Yeah,
care
okay.
about trivia like that.
Oh, cronk.
Yeah.
Well, that's fiddly.
Dave says, looking good there, John. What about his model?
Oh.
Julian says, hi, Hagrid, Paul, Duke, Kevin, David, masquerading as Annie Murray. Laugh out loud, TVG, Phil. Yeah. Joe says, wow, that is a complicated looking undercarriage. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Ian says, I used to say it's spinning fast. You can't see the props after they get snapped off, Julian.
Absolutely.
Phil says, Julian, I usually glue mine anyway. Would need to add a motor to make it turn. True. Julian says, blimey, John, busy is an understatement with that undercarriage.
Yeah, it is complicated. I find it one of the probably the most interesting parts of a MiG-23 is its undercarriage. So,
TBG says, bits of PE. Wow, John has ample opportunities to glue it on the wrong way round.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Skiffin says, morning, you shower. Good morning,
Morning,
Skiffin.
James. Thank you for the magazine, James.
You could have unstuck the pages first. Though.
Yeah, some of the pages were stuck together.
You found it on British
Ian
Rail.
says, rock on, Gary. Ian says, rock on, Gary. Nice braces.
Rock on, Tommy.
Skipper says, oh, God, you've been caught flashing again, Gary. Morgan's in. He says, hi. Hello, Morgan.
Hi, Morgan.
Are you playing on your Xbox again, mate?
Yeah. Back to school.
June says, yeah. June says, www.wwiiheadquarters.com. Yes.
I thought it was www.2headquarters.com.
That's what I put and it came up.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You'll find it if you look for it. June says, afternoon, James and Morgan. Joe says, so now we call him Gary the Flash Morris. Hello. Gary the Flash Morris.
No, Chair Force.
Gary Flasher Morris.
No, Chair Force. Will always be
Morgan says, afternoon, Julian. Ian says, good afternoon, good Morgan. Phil says, the part's not upside down, the rest of the model is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Julian. John has a dodgy bottle. We are still talking about the paint, yes?
With John's experience with paint.
Yeah.
Yes, there is that.
Kieran says, afternoon, everyone. Hello, Kieran.
Hi, Kieran.
Julian says 2.5 bar equals 36.26 psi. That's ridiculously high.
That's very, very high.
Wow. I've never put my compressor up that high for painting. You blow a hole in the bloody model. Tiff says, hello from me and Sonic.
Hi, Tiff.
Hello from me, Gary and John.
Yeah.
Modders is not here today. She's busy painting.
Yes. Hobby Time says, hi, guys.
Hi, Hobby Time.
Tiff, Julian, as a moderator, you can put web links in.
She may not be here, but she's still cracking the whip.
Yes. Jim, hello to all in chat. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
Are you enjoying your extra hour of lie-in, mate?
From the city of Chicago.
Yeah. Jim says, greetings to our gracious hosts. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Julian, that's why I asked to clarify what the website name was. Hobby Time says, hi, Jim. And Skiffer says, hey, Julian. And Jim says, hey there, Hobby Time. And we've caught up with the chat.
Oh, good. People can see what I'm doing now.
No, they can't because you're off camera.
Ah, there we go.
I'm making wheels today.
Are you? All we can see is you're gluing your Krankenpanzer.
No, I might zoom out a little bit because I might zoom out a bit. Right.
No, that's the Model T box. Don't need that one.
Tomorrow, I'm not going to be here tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going down to the NEC.
Yes.
To do the setup for Key Model World.
Yes, you're setting them up.
Which they're advertising, not my words. They're advertising it as the second largest model show in the UK.
There we go.
Not my words.
And Gary's going to be the star.
Star in a reasonably priced hoodie.
There we go.
Yeah.
Doors on. That was a bit of a wangle, but got there in the end.
Bit of a what?
I thought you were going to say something else then.
I thought
Bit of a
I heard
finagle.
something else.
Yeah.
Is that an Australianism?
Well,
Yeah.
I guess. I didn't think it was until just now.
Jimmy says he's put the link up. It says James Holland and Al Murray's website. There we go. Go and join up with that. Have a look at what they've got. Jimmy says thanks, Tiff. Hobby Time says the wheels on the tank go round and round. Skipper says yes, looking forward to the weekend and meeting up, Gary. Ooh.
Yeah. Probably won't see you till Saturday though, will I, James? Because you're working.
Did you swipe left, Gary, and get Skippers?
I should be under the full-size Spitfire with the red carnation.
And the Taylor Swift mag under your arm.
Taylor,
looking like some
copy,
bathroom.
a well-thumbed copy of the Taylor Swift magazine under my arm, yeah.
Like some dirty old goat that's just come out of the bathroom.
All right. You had to get old in there again, didn't you?
Skipper says, I think I'll find it very hard not to get frustrated at stuff I want and can't buy this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen on that front with me.
And he says, hey, Tiff. Junior says, not if I made the tank Hobby Time. Laugh out loud. And Hobby Time says, lol. Dieter says, James, that makes two of us. Local event in Marseille, pronounced, Marcella. Less temptation, but still present. Yeah.
Well, I'll enter the raffle, I always do.
And yeah, that's what you tell Marion. C13.
56.
Yeah, don't forget to take your book of raffle tickets, Gary.
Yeah. And then on Monday, when I get back on Sunday, on Monday, I'm going to do some woodland work with Smallwoods, who run a veterans woodland type work thing where you do coppicing and things like that in Telford. And Jake is coming with me, so God knows what he's going to do to himself.
Are you going to trust him with woodland type tools?
I can just imagine him, breaking something else and it being my fault.
Okay, I'm confused. What do you mean woodland work and coppers?
It's like making things like making hedges out of dead branches and making like
stuff.
Yeah, stuff out of wood. But it's all veterans and they have a campfire and coffee and things like that. So
the Ginganguli.
Yeah.
Oh,
got to keep my Gingangulis warm by the fire.
Yeah, fair enough.
Although it's supposed to be 20 degrees on Monday here, so.
Ah. Positively
27.
Positively tropical.
Yes.
Skiffin says, I've been planning the big build which is due to start. I have a great deal of things still required, and strips of plastic and tools are quickly becoming the only thing my wallet will open for.
Yeah. That's the problem when you get a big build, and that is going to be a big build, James. There's no two ways about it.
Dear.
Yeah, you're going to have to be on your best restrained. I won't say behaviour, because you're never on your best behaviour.
Maybe that is his best behaviour.
What a weekend with him and Mayfield, and Steph on Saturday. But the bad news that I haven't broken to the guys yet is on Sunday I will be late getting there, because the first train out of Telford isn't till 8:30.
Ah.
Which gets me at Birmingham International at 9:30.
Looks like I need an AK pen. Yay.
Oh, one of my favourite
Shit, what was that?
additions to my workbench.
Mm-hmm. Nothing's all right. Something fell.
So, what are other people in chat working on at the moment? Enough about us.
Yeah, you don't want to hear about us all day.
No.
Right. Jimmy says cop icing or something. I don't know. It's traditional woodland. Yeah, traditional woodland management practice where trees or shrubs are repeatedly cut close to the ground, stimulating new growth from the base. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, we call it backburning and ring barking.
Yeah. June says, yeah, that's. Ian says, yeah, that's not copies. I don't know. Whatever.
Coppicing.
Yeah. Copping a field or whatever. Skipping says, what, Gary? Hope the engineering work clear in time then.
Well, literally, the first train out of Telford on a Sunday is at 8:30 to Birmingham International. I blame the railway, Skiffins.
I blame the cat-sized rats in the bin bags.
Yeah.
I reckon that's what it is.
Yeah.
I reckon they're late because they have to fit one of those cow guards on the front of the train now to get through all the bin bags and the giant rats.
Oh, is there a strike on over there or something?
No, it's not. It's nothing. This is the normal scheduling.
No, but I saw a thing of a Lego set of Birmingham yesterday.
Oh yeah.
There's
The bin men are on strike in Birmingham, and there are rats now in Birmingham the size of cats. But
oh well, they're eating the rats.
To be honest, there always has been.
Ian says that's just making a hedge from dead branches. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, we do that as well.
Yeah. Jenny says, restraint. Gary, what happens if the restraints snap?
Oh well, we have a backup plan. If James's restraint snaps, then me and John Mayfield will immediately leap on him and throw him to the ground and make an immediate emergency phone call to Mrs. Skiffins,
who will then make him realise the error of his ways.
Yes, that is our contingency plan.
Yeah. Okay, 2 seconds.
Joe says, I'm painting the figures in the 17-pounder anti-tank and crew. I'm not good at painting figures. Practice. The more you do it, the better you'll get. And I've got a long way to go because I'm still crap at painting figures. But Malcolm Child says to me, just do it and it'll get better.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
Very true.
Mr. Skiffins, otherwise known as the model officer, says, "Okay, question for the collective. We are the Borg. We have been assimilated. I am looking for evergreen plastic packs, strips, pipes, etc., and also a punch and die set. Anyone know the best place for low cost?" I'll tell you what, there'll be stuff like that at Birmingham, mate, because it's model railways as well there. So there will be all that sort of stuff. I guarantee it. Note
Punch
to
and
self,
die set you can get from many.
stop
get from-
guaranteeing stuff you don't know about.
Punch and die set you can get from a cheap tool shop.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've got a punch and die set I've never used. I could bring it down for you.
Well, there we go. You could always send it back to you by mail if it needs be.
If I could find it. Best price. No, yeah, I don't know.
I got mine for about, I think mine was about £5 for a set of punches.
I've never used
that.
it. I've never used them.
David says, Joe, what kit is that? As an ex-gunner, always looking for British artillery. There we go.
Artillery!
Yeah.
Play anything, but play it loud.
Aussie Ian's in. He says, hi all, tuning in on time for once.
Good day, Ian. How the devil are you, mate?
James says, I have approximately 15,000 bolt heads to make. Why don't you just use a leather punch?
You know, he does like doing things the hard way.
He does, doesn't he?
Oh, dear me, James. Come on.
Thing is, right, with Skiffins, you never know if he's just being sarcastic or if he's
No, because I know what he's doing. I know what his big project is, and it's huge.
yeah.
Oh, is it that deck thing?
It's huger than he thought it was going to be, yeah.
Good
And
luck with that.
bloody tastic.
Yeah, it's big, man.
There you go. Joe says the kit is the Airfix Alpha 06361-132nd. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
David says, thanks, Joe. Jim says, my local hobby shop has evergreen products in the RR section. R.
Arr.
R. And Skiffin says, oh, by the way, that was per deck. You're insane, Skiffin.
The unfortunate thing about living in Telford, well, one of the unfortunate things about living in Telford, is that we don't have a hobby shop.
Do you not?
Other than Hobbycraft. What we do have, however, is King Kit.
Kinky.
King Kit.
Kinky.
King Kit.
King Kit.
King Kit. King It.
Oh. How can I soar like an eagle when I'm surrounded by shite hawks?
So much fun.
You wouldn't have us any other way.
Yes.
Well, it's only kinky the first time, I'm told.
King Kit is a massive warehouse of models that you can order if you live in Telford and pick up from the warehouse, and you don't have to pay postage.
So, what do I need? I need lots of C-33s, which are those ones, the suspension arms, torsion arms, I'd say.
Oh, I've done them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 per side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Getting
I
very
put
low
six,
on
so I just read it.
fit.
They're very what? Sorry.
I put them on before I sprayed it.
Yeah, I did not because I am an idiot.
You have made models before, right?
Not good ones.
Oh, I don't know about that. I would argue that point with you, John.
Yeah, that's actually during the 48, that was one of the questions I asked Aussie Ian was, are John Marley's models as good in real life as they look on camera? I said, no, they're absolute crap.
Yeah, that'd be right.
No, he didn't. He said, yeah, they are just as good. Skiffin said, oh, by the way, that was per deck. And he says, if you don't have evergreen in the hobby room, it's not a hobby room.
I have got some evergreen, but it's I think it's sheeting.
It's sheeting in the corner. You're sheeting on the toilet.
Sheeta evergreen pot. Yeah, that didn't work, did it?
There you go. Skiffin says, yes, Mikey, it's the carrier build. I will be shortly announcing stuff about it on the channel. There's a chance for the community to interact with the build. Ooh.
Oh.
Interesting. Intriguing.
One day in the very near future, I've got to get on one of James's hangouts on Discord, but normally it's after our club session on a Saturday, and I'm knackered by then.
I reckon. What's it called? The new podcast he's doing.
Yeah,
that's chatty meatballs type thing.
Irina Meatballs.
That's it. I reckon they should get you on that, Gary, and interview you.
Yeah, what have I got to say that's interesting?
I don't know, but we've done how many shows now?
Oh, you've been doing this since what? July last year? When did we start doing these?
Yeah, probably then.
I'm going to have a look now.
I think it was July or August. When somebody said, I've had an idea. Oh, God. I got a very rumbly tummy.
Do you?
And if you've seen my tummy, you'll know that's a lot of rumble. C26, C14, C29. C26, C14.
So it's 204.
Oh, cleanup. Cleanup required on aisle 3.
So approximately I think it's something like 200. This is the 204th live stream that we've done.
Really?
Yeah.
It's insane.
So yeah, but then you've got the 4 veterans. You've got the 4 veterans one on Fridays in that.
There you go. We started doing this a year ago.
Happy birthday to us.
A year ago?
Yep. 12 months ago.
Have you got the actual date there, or?
Come on, he wants details.
11th of April. Oh!
Wow.
It was our stream's birthday last week. Oh,
we missed it. And so did everybody else. So, moving on.
Last Friday. No, the Friday before. Oh.
Wow. That's very cool.
We've been going a year. And we still haven't fallen out with each other.
Oh, no, that's just our
we still haven't had
on-screen sort of personality. Like, we're off and then we just get into each other, don't we?
Ooh. Wrong choice of words there, Marley.
It's not the first time I've put my foot in it. Oh, that too.
Oh, dear.
Stop the bus. I want to get off.
Too late, mate. You've been on it for a year, apparently. Hang on. Where are we going? No, Jim says, sounds quite ambitious. Skiffins says, yes, Jim, it's at least a year-long project with far more than I had expected at first. However, the unknown links and stuff has only made me more wanting to do it. Lovely.
Am I right in thinking, though, James, that this is your recovery build?
Yes. Junior says, joke from Facebook. I made the mistake of grocery shopping when hungry. I am now the proud owner of aisle 5. Junior says, good afternoon, Jim Skype Skunk. Yes. I wonder.
Yeah.
Tell you what, there's going
We've
to be a
got
lot
23
of weight.
people.
There's not much holding these torsion arms to the chassis, is there?
Well, it depends if you glue them onto the chassis rather than just gluing the pegs in.
Yeah, I've got all mine on. Normally, this is the point I find that I've got them on the wrong way round.
Yeah.
Wow.
For some reason, that doesn't surprise me. And that's not just because of you either.
It's normally
just-
John that puts stuff on the wrong way round.
Yeah, represent.
Yeah. Ooh, we've got 17 lubes at the minute.
17 lubes.
17 lubes, yeah.
Lube and subscribe.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're doing well.
you're all doing very well.
Skipper says, yes, Gary, it is. In fact, due to start on my anniversary, so not long now.
Yes, I saw the picture of you lying in your sick bed this morning.
Yes.
Oh, well,
On his-
the picture
on
was
his
taken
near
a year ago. He wasn't lying in his bed this morning.
Posing.
Probably. It was. Yes, that's not the picture we wanted to see, though. We know the famous Skiffins picture.
The one that is burnt to the back of my eyeballs.
The one that
Oh,
the one
Benji.
that many people have had to go in therapy for. I'm going
Yes.
to mute a second.
Here we go.
Skiffin says, yes, stay for the day I went to hospital last year.
Okay. That's one side down.
Happy
340.
second life day, James.
It's a happy second life day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he could have died that day.
Well, that's right. But yeah, it was, we're all, of course, glad you're very much with us.
Myocardial infarction.
But we did have the staff divvied up.
Yes. As we did with Gary when the shelf fell on his head.
Yeah, when the shelf.
We as soon as it happened, we all had our engines started on the cars.
Yeah. Benji, shut up. Shush. Benji went to the groomers yesterday, so he's not happy today.
He's like, "Oi, I'm cold."
Literally came out. He's
Did
he's lost half of his weight.
Did he come out gibbering?
Gibbering.
Yeah. Shaking.
No, he goes in like that. He does not like going there.
Dieter says, Julian, that is like that musician sued a certain supermarket chain for using his name for their brand, Little Richard.
God's sake. Honestly.
It wasn't that bad a joke, Gary.
It was. See, why don't they show you a picture?
Of the middle of Little. Oh, that'd be banned on television, wouldn't it?
The middle aisle.
The middle aisle of Little. Got on.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, James, that magazine you sent me has got 3 posters in it.
Ooh, they'll be going up in your man cave.
I was going to put them on the bedroom ceiling so I can lie in bed at night and just look up at her.
Yeah, I'm sure Marion would love that.
Yeah, Marion said no.
Excuse me, darling. Would you mind if I lay in bed looking at another woman all night? I'm bored with you.
I'm bored with you.
I didn't think I would have said that.
Well,
Yeah, you
that would have been inferred.
Yeah, that's
No,
what she.
Marion used to do karate. I'm not saying that to her. And the closest I got to karate was Eki Thump. I need some blades from a.
Kaylee says, Mikey, you're grounded.
Yes, quite right too, Kaylee.
She forgets I'm an adult.
You
She also
forget.
forgets I'm the only one that can drive the car.
Yeah, I also have that. I also have that issue with Marion. She's the only one that can drive the car. Is there a right and wrong way to put this on?
Kaylee says, no more YouTube for a week. Da, da, da.
He's had his YouTube privileges rescinded.
Skiffin says, yes, I know. Poster on the ceiling is a great way to ensure you sleep alone.
Do you know, when I was in the Air Force, during the war, when I was in the Air Force and I was posted to Northwood in just North London, which was Headquarters 18 Group, but it was full of the Navy because it was actually a naval base. There was about 3,000 Wrens there, and I just got married.
What is it?
I went to the dentist there. This is the story I'm getting to. I had to go to the dentist there, and he was one of the best dentists I've ever seen. Because when you laid back in the chair, on the ceiling, he had put centre spreads out of Playboy in that, and that focused the mind.
Right. Yeah. Well, the dentist at Richmond had lots. Well, the whole roof was filled with Far Side comics, and I couldn't sit there without giggling.
Yeah. Dentists. Don't like dentists.
No. I hated needles as a kid.
I don't mind needles.
Yeah.
I just don't like dentists.
I hated needles that much that when I was 8 years old, I had a filling done and rather than using anaesthetic, I just listened to a tape of Phil Collins.
Well, one of the last times I went to the dentist, he said, you need to have a fill-in, but I'm not going to use anaesthetic. What?
Used
Marion anesthetic instead.
Anesthetic. We're going to use this very nice mallet I bought for $1.99. He's on special.
Middle aisle of Lidl.
What are the odds?
Either this mallet from Lidl or this needle from the corner of Coronation Street.
Needle from Lidl.
Yeah. Needle from Lidl.
Or this needle from the guy at the back of Lidl.
Oh, crikey.
Reminds me of the chalice from the palace.
Has a brew that is true?
Yeah, that's the one. And
the mortar and the
yeah, was it the
mortar and the pestle?
The pestle in the vessel.
Yeah, the pestle in the vessel is a poison. Oh,
it makes a brew that is true. Yeah, it's up there with Abbott and Costello's famous "Who's on First." Julian says, "Be back later, carer and lunch." See you later, Julian.
Later.
Lunch, that is.
Julian also says, "Oh, that was quick. He's back, Mikey. Adult physically, yes, but mentally." James says Gary was posted to a naval hotel.
Yeah, it's where they'll start looking at the belly buttons.
I was actually in married quarters just around the corner from the Royal Air Force Museum at Hendon. That's where I lived.
Oh.
David says, while in Bulford, we had a new dentist and she liked to hold back on the anaesthetic. Don't recommend that. She did not last long.
Hold back in it and use it for herself.
Yeah. I've made a load of wheels.
It was only last year that I found out that we realised I can't have lidocaine.
Oh, right.
Because I have adverse
reactions. If you have lidocaine, Mikey?
Eh?
What happens if you have lidocaine?
My blood pressure drops through the floor.
Oh, right. Maybe I should have some of that.
What about iocane powder?
No, you know that scene in Train Spotting where he shoots up and he's sinking into the floor.
No, I've never seen that film, so
You've never seen Train Spotting,
no.
Yeah, I remember that scene. I don't remember
Yeah.
much else about the film.
but that's what it felt. That's what it feels like when I have lidocaine. I'm laid back and I just feel like I'm sinking through the floor.
Ah.
Honestly, that film does not appeal to me at all.
That's all right. I bet you didn't like Clockwork Orange either, did you?
I haven't seen it.
Gosh,
I
truth.
love that film.
Films that don't interest me: Clockwork Orange, obviously the other one we just spoke about that's dumped out of my memory now. Space 2001. Not watched that.
The Crying Game.
Not watched that.
And you whinge at me for not watching the films that you've watched. God blimey.
No, there are. They just don't appeal to me.
They're social commentaries, aren't they? More than anything, like Train Spotting and Clockwork Orange.
But
Yeah.
films like Kez, never watched that. Although we had to read,
God.
to read the book in school.
I don't remember. I don't think I've seen the film. I just know the cover of the poster. I think from the old VHS.
But
I love those films.
no, they just don't do it for me.
That's because they're not porn.
It's like Star Wars. I can give it. Yeah.
It's the wrong type of 18 rating for Gary.
Well, I've watched the first two episodes of the new Andor series, the Star Wars one. It's wonderful.
See, I started watching Mandalorian, but gave up on it.
See, I'm afraid I'm a traditionalist when it comes to Star Wars.
At
the risk,
judging your age, it'll be episode 1.
which is probably which would be episode 4.
First one I ever watched was the re-release of A New Hope.
There you go.
See, I think Star Trek's better than Star Wars. Boom, that's starting an argument off.
Well, I think you're just wrong. No, I do have a love-hate relationship with Star Trek.
I love Star Trek. Now, Gary, being an old man, is going to say that he prefers DS9.
No, I didn't like DS9.
Bloody hell.
I didn't like Babylon 5.
Controversial.
I loved The Next Generation.
Yeah, I love Next Gen.
The new Star Trek films with Chris Pine in, they're good.
Fantastic.
Like
yeah.
Shame Chekhov died, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the guy who played him, really.
The
Walter Koenig.
new series, I think, are fantastic.
He
I haven't
got
seen all
squashed by his own
Discovery.
car, didn't he?
He got what?
He got
Got
backed
squashed
over
by
by his
his
car in his own
Oh, wow.
driveway.
Oh,
The handbrake wasn't on, and
dear.
it just rolled into and crushed him against the wall.
oh dear.
Yes, because we've established by talking to
Awful.
our friend Jim in Chicago that Americans don't tend to put on the handbrake because they call it the emergency brake and think it's only for an emergency.
Right.
Because logical.
Because they put their automatic cars in park, so they
Yes.
assume that that's
Well,
the equivalent
see,
of a.
most cars in Australia tend to be automatics these days. And I still can't understand why the UK love manuals.
Well, we've got an automatic.
Because
There you
we
go.
have a lot of hills and things.
Yeah, but we have a lot more hills in a larger country, mind you. Nobody goes where there aren't areas with not much hills. Like, not many people go to the outback, apart from
Because
backpacking.
that's where everything
They only
that
go
wants to eat you lives.
on.
Exactly. But that's why we have manuals, because they're more fuel efficient for the sort of roads we have.
Weird.
We're a strange bunch.
Yes. We only have, came up with the idea in the first place. But
What, hills?
no, driving. Dave says loved Babylon 5.
No.
Yeah.
I did love. I tell you what series I did love was the series of Stargate, and I did enjoy Stargate the film.
Shit.
See, Stargate film's fantastic. I haven't seen enough of the series to really comment, but I didn't not like what I saw.
I remember
I
Stargate.
said that less awkwardly.
When the first film the original film came out, I was in primary school. We watched it in primary school.
What, Stargate?
Yep, the first film.
I was at Scampton.
What? Watching the Dam Busters take off. Ian says, so sinking through the floor is a sign of low blood pressure. I experienced that a lot when I was younger. Yep. Because your brain starts to shut down.
Marion has low blood pressure.
Yeah. I remember being in the CS gas chamber on basic training, doing respirator drills and stuff. And I did the drills perfect. And because I'd done them perfect, the corporal wasn't happy. Because as far as he was concerned, I should be feeling the effects of the gas so that I know that the mask is working. So he wouldn't let me go and wouldn't let me move until I'd had a conversation with him. What he didn't realise was I have adverse reactions to CS gas and my windpipe closed up. So he was having a go at me, telling me not to move, and I'm slumped onto the floor, crawling onto the floor. And the last thing I remember is I fell face first onto the floor, and I can just remember seeing the captain banging on the window as this like black circle started closing in around him. And then next thing I remember, I was outside.
Interesting.
Because he wouldn't let me out.
John,
hello.
Cancel that order for CS gas tablets.
Change it to Zyklon.
Controversial.
No, sorry about that. Yeah, shouldn't have said that.
Bloody hell. Steve's Gaming, who must have snuck in, or I was concentrating on something else when he did, says, I love Babylon 5. It's my third fave sci-fi series of all time after UFO. I did like UFO. And Blake 7. Never watched Blake 7.
I don't remember seeing Blake 7.
Steve also says automatics are for people who can't learn to drive manuals.
Yeah,
true.
Not always.
It's very true. Because my sister and Kay's niece, both of them tried to learn manual and they couldn't get their head around doing the gears. So they went and passed the test in automatic first time.
Yeah.
It is a lot easier. But like I said, it's a lot less fuel efficient, especially in places like Wales, where everything is on a hill.
Bye. That's right. It's Marion going off to a ladies group.
Where everything's on a hill or on a narrow road or in a small town and things.
Well, we had to go to an automatic because of Marion's fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that car.
Joe says, oh, thanks, John. Now I have the shower scene from the Crying Game in my head. Jeez. What makes it worse is if you think of John in a pair of Bermuda shorts. Isn't it?
Oh, you're not wrong.
James says, anything with 7 of 9 rocks. Well, absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
Jerry Ryan.
Yeah, and so the latest... What was the latest series of Star Trek that she's in? Picard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I've not seen that.
I watched the first series.
Oh, it gets better. The second series much better than the first.
Yeah, but isn't it on?
Yeah, what do they call it? Bloody
Disney?
No, it's a Paramount.
Paramount. Yeah, you see, I'm not paying for another bloody.
Yeah.
Well, I finally decided I'm going to buy the DVD of SES Rogue Heroes because I've been watching the clips on YouTube.
Oh, well, you can get that on iPlayer.
I don't have iPlayer because I don't watch live TV and I don't.
Oh, right,
I refuse to have a TV license.
Right, fair enough. David says, yes, there were some naughty NBC instructors.
Yes.
Part of the course, wasn't it, when you went through basic training?
Well, the captain that was involved in that I saw banging on the window telling to get me out, I saw him when I was in Iraq, and we were talking about it, and he said that corporal, after that course, he got promoted to sergeant.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What,
Yeah.
promoted out of it?
Yeah.
Okay, make up 8 of these wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
He was the captain
Right.
there.
2, 4, 6, 8 done. I've done the drive sprocket wheels and the front wheels.
Now these would have solid rubber edges, wouldn't they? Rims.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll
so I'm going
painting
to
these
do
before I-
exactly what Mike is doing and use my AK pen on them when I painted them. And then my only thing I'm not looking forward to on this kit is the rubber band tracks.
Oh, I think I'll be fine.
I don't.
Well, everything else has been fine, really.
Yeah.
I do not like rubber band tracks.
Better look at Mally says no mention of Battlestar Galactica yet.
No,
which one? Which one?
The new one. It's fantastic. It's one of the
The
best series
one
ever
with
made.
Katie Sackhoff in.
Yes, that's the one.
And Trisha.
Is that the one you like to get your sack off to?
Oh, gee. That was inevitable, wasn't it?
Oh, do you know what? I do apologise, viewers. 1 hour and 2 minutes in, and there's been some smuttism.
Apologies for the Welsh git.
Yeah.
I have a solution to that, John.
Cue the spinning chair. No.
No.
Katie Sackhoff was good in Longmire as well. That was a good series. One of your brethren starred in that, John.
Mine?
Yeah.
I've not heard of Longmire.
Longmire was very good.
Battlestar Galactica is on Pluto, the television app, streaming app.
I don't have that.
It's one of the free ones on Fire Stick.
Free one?
Yeah, it's a free app on Fire Stick, Pluto.
Bloody hell, you get something for nothing nowadays. There's no such thing as something for nothing.
Yeah, it's got like ghost hunting channels and everything on there.
Oh,
it's all
God.
different. It's got movie channels and all sorts on it.
Oh, right. Might have a look at that. Oh no, I haven't got Fire Stick. You said it's on Fire Stick, didn't you?
Well, you can probably get it on Roku and things like that as well. Steve says, I love the original Battlestar Galactica, hated the new remake.
Interesting.
Bloody Cylons coming over here.
David says, David the original was good.
All their dogs.
David the original, that sounds like a good film.
Right, next job. Enough of this talking of films and rubbish like that.
Yeah, have you done any modelling today, Gary?
I've done all these wheels.
Have you painted them yet?
Not yet.
Then you're lagging behind. Hurry up.
I will paint them off air.
Off air?
But what I am going to do is I think I'm going to talk myself into or out of something. And I think I'm going to put the H6s on over the top of the
H6s. Remind me what that is.
They're the curved thin.
Oh yes, yeah. Those bits.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm going to take my life in my hand. Oh bloody hell!
All right.
Oh no, that's H5. Is this H2?
There are a lot of wheels.
Yeah, Kay's just brought me a brew, and apparently she nearly made it with gravy by mistake.
I'd have drunk it.
David says he's got Pluto on his tablet and downloaded the app. Yeah. Kay
How
likes
the
it.
bloody hell did you get?
Pluto.
No. Come on, ICM. How am I supposed to get them off there?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Very carefully. Skipping says 7 and 9 was with Janeway in Voyager. I watched a thing about the making of it, and the Cap Janeway hated the 7 and 9 character. Yeah, she did.
I think the actress who's playing 7 and 9 thought
Jerry
it was
Ryan.
too. Yeah, there you go. Thought it was too predictable, robotic as well. But she was making changes to her character, and I think because here's the thing, we're talking about which series are great and all that sort of stuff. The reason I have a love-hate relationship with Star Trek is there was a scene in the what do they call it, Next Generation, where it started to get interesting, and so I think it was Riker's in love with whatever her name is,
Deanna Troy.
Deanna Troy, and so is bloody Worf. So they're having this little bit of an argument, a little bit of a lover's tiff, and the characters are suddenly getting interesting. And Picard walks in, stands up, says, "You are Starfleet officers. You do not argue." And everyone sat down and started playing poker again. And I thought they just got rid of any character interplay. And the whole series was like that. Nothing happened in it. So that's why I think DS9 was better. Personal opinion only, of course. But I just thought the script in the original Next Generation was they missed so much just because, we don't have money anymore. And, all this sort of expanding about how good humans have become, when if they were better people, they'd have better scripting.
I think it's a bit of a difficult to compare DS9 with the Next Generation, though. Because one, like TNG is like idealistic sort of society version of Star Trek, where everyone, they're always doing their best and trying to do what's morally right and things. Whereas DS9 is more, they're running a shopping mall whilst also trying to fight the universe.
Yeah, it was all more about, there's more about, it's actually how to fight a war, but by treating everybody fairly, I think,
Yeah.
It's interesting. But again, it sort of suffered at the beginning because they were stuck. So everyone had to come to them, and it didn't really work so well. But once they got the Defiant and started going back out into the universe again, it became interesting again.
Yeah. Space 1999 had the right idea.
Space 1999.
Yeah.
Very interesting ships on those two. They're fantastic.
The year I started high school.
Really?
Yep.
It's literally 5 years before I left the Air Force.
Yeah, started high school in 1999. And then September the 11th, 2001? No?
Yes, it was one. Yeah, I remember that well.
Yeah.
That was when my mum and stepdad got married.
Oh, right.
September the 11th. They got married 2 years before 9/11.
Oh.
Hey?
So whatever year 9/11 was on, they got married 2 years before.
Yeah,
2001.
Yeah.
It changed our lives.
Yeah. I can never remember the year. Don't forget, I was only 13 at the time.
Shut up.
I was the same age Morgan is now.
Yeah, wow. So in secondary school,
Mm-hmm.
do they keep hassling you about shaving your beard?
No. They were hassling me because I refused to wear a school jumper.
Oh, that's right. You have told us that story. Yeah.
He was a Webble.
Oh, I was always getting kicked out.
Throw him to the ground, Centurion.
I'll think of that. Strike him, Centurion. Really waffly.
I was always getting kicked out of French class.
Yeah, that's
And music as well.
Right, that's a rite of passage, getting kicked out of French class.
Yeah. Funnily enough, the following year when we changed to a different teacher, none of the lads got kicked out of the class.
Was her name Mademoiselle Fifi?
No, is Madame Brown, and she was in her late 20s, and she always wore very low. Baggy, she always wore very low cut, baggy gypsy top type things.
Strumpet.
So every time she was standing in front of you, and then she'd lean down in front of you to check your work and things, because she never ever stood behind people. She always stood in front of you. So the lads are always like, "Excuse me, miss, can you explain this to me, please?"
Crikey.
Yes, it's your name.
Yes. Jim says, "Wasn't the prime directive don't mention the war?" Pretty much. Skipping says, "The sadness of Star Trek series is that they basically remake the last series but change the names." Yeah.
Oh.
David says, "Gene Roddenberry gave us some very good and varied shows." Yeah. John's learning to count. Ian says, "No one got kicked out of our French class. Miss Bibby was drop dead gorgeous." Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, but
So I have a lot of wheels to, I'll need to paint the black on these. That's going to take forever, isn't it?
no, if you got an AK pen,
I don't have an AK pen. I can't buy
Look
one
at this!
tomorrow, but-
Oh, it's going so fast! Woo! Look at that go, John.
I'll tell you what. I thought putting these curved bits on the top of the half track was going to be an easy job, but it's going to take me hours to clean them up. Because the only way I could get them off the frame was to use a very small razor saw on them.
Ooh, oh, bugger.
Because there's no room for the snips to get in. So guarantee that this next part of my build, next part of the show today, will be me doing this. You only put 2 on. No, you put 3 on.
Joe said, "Can we get Mikey's old French teacher on the live stream?" She'd probably be in her 50s now.
And your
Whatever
point
she's
is
had,
what?
if she leant over now,
Point is-
whatever she had probably touched the floor.
Sorry, your point is what there, Mikey?
Sorry, I don't look at women my dad's age.
Wow.
Oh, joking. Ian says, "Spanish and German classes were hell." See, I didn't do German because I refused to do well in French. I just didn't like French. I just hated it less than learning Welsh.
Funny old thing. And now what are you trying to learn?
Welsh.
How's that going, by the way?
Not bad. Not bad.
You can now say Aberystwyth. You know how in Wales,
Oh, go on.
you have on the roads Araf
Yeah.
and then slow.
Yes.
On the road that goes through the Mac Loop, they've removed the A and the S, so it says RAF low.
Yeah. And of course, you know what the Welsh word for out is, don't you?
out.
Yeah. It's Aslan.
He was a lion in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, but Aslan is spelled Allan. So it's spelled how the English spell Alan.
Alan!
Alan.
Dave!
Which seems to confuse a lot of English people. Because they keep going they keep entering the exit of the car park.
Keep on entering Alan.
Yes.
Doesn't like it. They have to hold him down.
He's getting fed up with it. Don't break, please don't break.
Getting there slowly with it. My old brain's not as elastic as it used to be. Skipping says, right, gotta go do some work as it's nearly time to go home. Hey, wait, so you're in work?
So if the trains are delayed,
Swing your wheel.
Yeah.
I'll just keep dropping these wheels, so I'll just stop what I'm doing. Get off.
see you later. See you on Saturday, James.
Yeah. Joe says 50's perfect. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you guys are older than me.
Yeah, you see, you want to watch it, Mikey, because the majority of the people on here
Love watching the Golden Girls and masturbating.
I'll tell you what, the one person I do keep forgetting is older than me on here is Ian Ellison. He does not look his age.
How old's Ian?
He's in his 50s.
No way.
I'm sure he is. Ian, how old are you, dude? I'm sure he said he was in his 50s.
No way.
Jim says the best feature of the next gen Enterprise was the holodeck. Oh, the fun I could have in there.
Actually,
yeah,
yes, that was. Yeah, that was amazing.
Ian says, Alan. Laugh out loud. And Jim says, Joe, I'm with you, Joe. Are you? I thought you were in another part of the country.
I'm literally waiting for Ian Ellison to put his age up.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sure he said he's in his 50s.
No.
Oh, there you go. 48.
No
He's
way.
48. I wouldn't have thought that.
No. Oh, you have to let me know what your secret is, Ian.
I thought when we met him at Telford, I thought he was younger than me.
Yeah.
David says, what's 50? Not seeing that now for 21 years. Wow. So you're not the oldest on the channel anymore then, Gary?
Look, it's just a number.
Yes. But you've got less in front of yours than I have. Jim says, frankly, Mikey,
I've got in front of me.
Yeah. Jim says, frankly, Mikey, you don't look your age. About 10 years older, mate. Yeah, I know. You should see me when I'm clean shaven. I look so young. In fact, I got a picture of it on my phone.
Let's face it, that's never going to happen, is it?
What?
We're never going to see you in the flesh, clean shaven. We were.
That sounded a lot worse than what you
didn't sound right. You know, when you're saying something and you're thinking as you're saying it, this doesn't sound right, stop.
I'm still laughing.
But it was too late.
The better-looking male has decided to grow a beard, or more like his partner has.
It does suit him.
Oh, he's growing a beard.
His partner's not growing a beard. Although she is Maltese. No, she has not.
Ooh,
and hello to all our friends in Malta.
Yeah.
Okay.
One day I will come and see you in Malta.
Right. This was in 2020 at the beginning of the big Kung Flu season. Right. When I was still in the ambulance service. Are you ready? I was very baby faced.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Wow! Did your mum know you were out?
That was only 5 years ago.
Wow.
And that's a picture that will never be seen again.
So changeable curtains.
Yes.
This is really, really quite fiddly.
David said that it is Gary. Ian says it wouldn't be a secret if I told you.
It's too late for me, mate.
June says, back. Drat, I missed the chat about various sci-fi franchises.
Oh, that's okay. We can go over it again. Just, because they're all
basically the conclusion was at the end of all that, Julian, was that 7 of 9 was fit and Janeway wasn't.
Well, I don't know. I quite like Janeway. She's all right.
I think she's a great actress.
She always reminded me of Katharine Hepburn.
Yes, yeah, it's a sort of slightly gravelly voice, and she's in Warehouse 13. I don't know if you've seen that.
That's a good series.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
Kate Mulgrew is her name.
When they were filming it, she was actually going through a really tough time, wasn't she? In real life,
was she?
She was getting, yeah, she was getting divorced. She's in the middle of a messy divorce at the time, so she was having to turn up on set with the kids and everything. And so keep them occupied and then go and do her scene and then go back to them. And she was hardly getting any sleep because they're working like 14-hour days and things.
Yeah, right. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? So what do you guys think of Tron Legacy?
Never watched it.
I haven't watched it.
Never watched Tron.
Jim says, not the most flattering picture, Mike. He looks like he just stepped in some dung. But to be fair, mate, I wasn't happy because I just shaved my beard off. I've been clean shaven twice in like 15 years. I didn't like it. Paul says, John, you lost the whole Maltese audience.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Speaking of Maltese, that reminds me.
I hope to visit Malta one day before I pop off this mortal coil.
Have I got Maltese? Maltese.
Not anymore.
Oh, yeah, I have. There we go. Oops. There you go.
Oh. Recommend a book about the Second World War written by Mr. James Holland. Fortress Malta. Very, very good book.
Right.
Don't want the egg yet. I'll have the Easter bunny.
As soon as we come off air, I'm going for my lunch because I can smell tea cooking because it's in the slow cooker. It's driving me mad.
Jim says, to me, Janeway was more the typical school teacher, and 7 and 9 was the hot substitute.
Oh, definitely.
And Joe says, at Tuesday night golf, the fellow I was paired with was slightly mad because I was hitting from the senior tees, 55 years old. I told him I was 63. He says, oh, sorry.
Wow.
The only golf I play now is on the PlayStation.
So I could picture us three playing golf, but it'd be like that music video, Dance Monkey Dance.
No, there's no way I'd be able to play golf. Twisting is bad for me, and twisting at that speed is impossible, I'd say.
Yeah. Have you watched the music video? They don't play a lot of golf on it.
No, I've got no idea what you're talking about.
We wouldn't play a lot of golf.
No.
Be at the 19th hole.
There's a music video called Dance Monkey, and
Okay.
the song is the singer is a woman, but she's dressed up as an old man, and she's on a golf course with a load of other old men causing mayhem, like driving the golf carts through people's, like when they're trying to take their shot and things,
Disgraceful.
and like nicking their golf clubs from and stuff like that. Julian says that's a valid conclusion, Gary. Laugh out loud. With regards to Janeway not liking 7 and 9 character, I think she objected to what she saw as a blatant attempt to sex. Yeah, that's exactly what she said. Because they did an interview in a documentary about it, and that's what she said. It was she didn't like the fact that she'd worked really hard to try and be taken seriously in the role as a female character, and whereas before women had always been sexualized on the screen on the show. And then he brought 7 and 9 in, and she felt like he was undoing all her hard work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Joe says, had him by 7 strokes at the time. That sounds way worse when you read it out.
Yeah.
Paul says, I read Fortress Malta as also, Gary. Totally enthralling.
Yeah. It's the first book of James Holland's that I ever read, and I've bought several of his other books as well, and they're all equally as good.
I haven't got any.
Well, they're World War II books, so...
Yeah. I've got a couple of World War II books, not many.
So what I've started doing is I've gone into a deep, I guess you'd call it the... what?
You're going in deep, are you, John?
Yeah, so I'm going down a rabbit hole of like initially I started with where did it start? Oh, yeah, because it was last week. I think it was the 250th anniversary of Battle of Concord and Lexington, which is the start of the American War of Independence. So I thought, I'll learn a bit more about that. So I watched a couple of documentaries, extremely good. Watched a movie that they made in the 80s with Tommy Lee Jones. And now I'm listening to a podcast called Revolutions with Mike Duncan, going through the American Revolution. So they're at, they just cross the Delaware and all that sort of stuff like that. So it's fascinating, really. Yeah. And it's really good stuff because, of course, we didn't do American history in school. But going through it, it's just like, I can see what they're fighting for. But I honestly believe, like, if there's never a better time to form a militia and take up bloody arms than now.
I was just going to say, I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
On
anyway, moving on. Welsh history is fun as well. A lot of rebellion and stuff like that in there.
Yeah, I read a book about that. It's called And Stay Down.
Rebellion.
You got like the Rebecca riots and things like that. They're quite funny.
Oh, I love her. Yeah, she was extremely good in Star Trek.
Jim says, you guys golfing reminds me of the Three Stooges playing golf. Yeah. It would be akin to it. I'd be akin to it. Julian says, as the 7 of 9 character developed, I think the sexual aspect diminished. Did you see the uniform she wore? Similar to T'Pol in Enterprise, albeit T'Pol was there from the start. I think they saw 7 and 9 had been a success, so copied it. Yeah, I think one of the other things is when TNG first came out, Tasha Yar was one of the characters, and she was quite well thought of. But they killed her off, didn't they?
Well, she killed herself off.
Did she kill herself off? I can't remember that.
Yeah, she was.
My 61-year-old brain is.
Listening to an interview a couple of years ago, she was saying that she was like heavily addicted to drugs. She was depressed and stuff like that. And she just really had to get away. She came back near the end, but not in the same capacity because, of course, she was dead. But Yeah, she was highly regarded. She was a good actress as well.
Mm.
It's like Jennifer Aniston in Friends. Great to look at, better actress.
Mm.
I think she's wonderful.
See, John can say that, and you know nothing from Mikey. I mentioned one thing about Taylor Swift or Kylie Minogue,
Who? Oh, Kylie. Oh, no, Kylie.
the pop princess.
Sorry, what?
No, forget it. What's the point?
Yeah. Mikey just said, nah, nah, nah. Nah, nah,
He's
nah,
singing. He's singing.
See, no. See, all I heard was old man, old man, old man, old man. I'm getting old. Oh, woe is me. I'm 61. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Jim says, I think the late historian Richard Holmes made a documentary of the Revolutionary War.
Did he now?
So Revolutions,
Really?
wonderful podcast. I did all the major revolutions. He's coming back. He's actually got a series on right now, which is a fictional revolution happening on Mars, which I haven't listened to yet. I'll wait till I finish, American Civil War. Oh, sorry, War of Independence.
I bet that's a riveting read because there's nothing on Mars. Or is there? Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, but yeah, he had stopped a podcast, a very successful one. It was, I think, it was number one for years in podcast ratings and stuff like that. And yeah, he's coming back later, I think in fall this year. He's an American podcaster, of course, and he's wonderful because he's a funny guy as well, and he's very, very knowledgeable. I'd highly recommend it. It's up there with the best of podcasts.
Right. Is it up there with Roll Britannia?
Yeah, probably better than Roll Britannia, actually. I know, right? But I'm up to speed with that one. No, that's not true. No, the new
two new episodes went up yesterday.
Yeah, so yeah, I haven't heard those.
I must admit, I fell asleep listening to them last night in bed, and they were funny. The first episode is hilarious.
Oh, I was laughing out loud a couple of weeks ago when they were in a pub with sort of dance music playing and stuff. I think.
Oh yeah.
God, it was wonderful.
Julian says, my problem with A-level history is that it was taught as, why do you always do that? It was dash dash taught as dash dash the Rebecca riots and sod all else. Yeah, we did the Rebecca riots, the swing riots, Merthyr Tydfil.
No, don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
Oh,
the truck system.
So my grandmother's family came from Merthyr Tydfil.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool. So she was
Mary
a heathen too.
Sorry, what?
So she was a heathen as well.
Wait, what? His grandfather? What?
They're from South Wales. They were heathens.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes, I forgot you don't like South Walians.
Yeah. Well, we do. We tolerate them. No.
So yeah. So Mary lived on Mary Street, and Clifford came from Swansea. And
that's of the Welsh city.
Swansea, look you, isn't it?
Yes. Be right there in a minute.
We've got a Swansea down the road from us here, as well as a Cardiff.
Yeah, we got Swansea as well. You stand on the bank and you see the swan.
Yeah.
Swimming around on the water.
They're not real swans, they're white.
Jim says Taylor Swift represents a perfect example of style over substance in the music industry.
Who?
You're going to get Swifties in complaining soon. There's an article on Facebook the other day saying that Taylor Swift is officially the 20th best guitarist of the 20th century, and people commenting and saying, "In what, a class of 20? In a high school or
the 20th century or 21st century?"
Well, yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? 21st century, I think it probably is. But yeah, saying that she's the 20th best
Short-lived.
guitarist. Yeah.
God. I did see, was it Clara Devine?
Don't you listen to them, dear. They don't know what they're talking about.
Clara Devine, I think, was in Valerian. Yeah, I saw her footage of her playing a guitar behind her back, behind her neck the other day on one of the American talk shows. It's quite impressive, really.
Well, one of the lads I went to school with, when we were in school, that was one of his party pieces. Was he'd play it, he'd pluck it with his teeth, and then he would lift the guitar up over his head and put it behind his head and play behind his head as well.
It's a funny way of preparing a chicken, though.
Well, he was talking about when he was practicing it in geography one day, and we were all being really noisy because none of us paid attention in geography anyway. And he was he went to say, the problem is I can never reach the G string with my teeth. But just as he started saying it, the whole room had gone quiet because the teacher walked in.
Ah.
So all the teacher heard was him shouting, I can't reach the G string with my teeth. The teacher looked at him and just went, okay, and closed the door and went back out again. Because our geography class was that unruly that the teacher used to just put a video on and then go and sit in her office and close the door. And bless her, she ended up having a massive stroke in the end. Not because of us, but just in general. She had a brain hemorrhage.
Ew.
Yeah. At the time, our form teacher was her husband, and we'd never seen a man look so broken and upset. And he was a lovely guy as well. Of course he was a lovely guy. He had a massive beard. Julian says, Gary, with regards to 7 of 9 skin-tight outfits, that's why I said diminish rather than vanish. I think her story arc was similar in its way to Data's, as she became a bit more human.
Yeah.
Story? Yeah. So in the later series of Picard, she becomes less Borg and more human. And I think, it's, obviously you got that sort of fight between one and the other as Picard never was able to sort of drop one completely and stuff. But it was good. Again, she's great looking, but a great actress too. So she carried it. So I was impressed with her series.
She was in the second season of Dark Winds, which if you ever get a chance to watch Dark Winds, it's really, really good.
Never heard of that.
Based on a reservation about the Indian, there was a Native American police.
It's about a guy that ate a curry then went to bed.
No, it's not. It's very, very well done.
George says, of late, Jim's wrong.
No, he says of late, Jim's not wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Of late, Jim's not wrong. That's it. Julie says, I do that, by the way, Mikey, because in netiquette means italics, so I'm emphasizing that point. IOW, not saying all Welsh history, etc.
In other words.
Oh, yeah. Not saying all Welsh history, etc. Just it was taught that way. Yeah.
Unless he's saying Isle of Wight.
Probably.
I'm on wheels. I don't know. George says, does she even play guitar? Put it this way, I'm a really bad guitar player, but I still play the same chords she does.
You play the same bloody tune every time.
What are we talking about? What's that? Is that Swift?
Alan Swift or something.
Yeah, something like that. Swift seamstress or something like
that. Yeah. Oh, Gary switched his camera off. And he's muted himself. Julie says Taylor Swift is 20th best guitarist. Unfortunately, they were using her as an example of what not to be.
Wow.
Yes, I bet you wouldn't be laughing if you had her money, though, would you?
Jim says, when I hear Swifties, I can't help but think of. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I think yeah.
Oh,
think
I see. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah. Oh no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go down that road.
Jimmy says, laughing my ass off. No, Mikey, I'm not stating the bleeding obvious. Laugh out loud. See, he takes it in good humour, doesn't he? Ah, Julian.
Good lad.
Yeah.
You'll go far.
Why am I painting that side?
With inside the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's gone quick, hasn't it?
We're now the
I'll
20
actually have these
minutes.
wheels done by then. But yeah, this has been an episode of really good progress.
Really good progress. I've actually
Thank
done
you.
a bit of work on my Model T as well while I'm
Have you?
waiting for things to set. And the windscreen dropped off, so I had to glue it back in place.
Oh, I was going to say something about that as well. Right. When I was putting my Model T together, I lost the foot plate, didn't I? The footwell.
Yeah.
Right. I sorted my desk out last night and I found it.
Okay.
Where
was it?
Next to me on the desk, underneath underneath a pot of paint or something.
So you've had to disassemble the Model T to get.
No, I'm just going to leave it off because I'm going to put shrubbery in there anyway.
Yeah.
A shrubbery?
Shrubbery!
You're no longer the lights, you say.
You want a shrubbery?
Oh, notes of knee. You are just unfair.
Garden path through the middle.
I will get you a shrubbery.
Yes.
And that looks nice.
We're going Monty Python and the Holy Grail now for the rest of the episode. I can see it.
That's what I think when you were mentioning your married patch was in Hendon.
Yeah.
Yes. In my mind, I was saying I nearly got in at Hendon.
Well, it was actually Collindale.
Oh yeah, well that's exactly where.
Yeah.
That's a station I think you get off to go to Hendon.
Yeah, that's right. It's also where Hannants are.
Yes.
Ooh.
Which I learned after I went there and came
Which
home.
I learned after I moved away from Collindale.
Colin Dale is another actor that's in Star Trek.
Is it really?
No. So, getting back to Tron, it's just you don't need to watch the original movie Tron because it's somewhat dated. It was amazing at its time, but it's somewhat dated now. But the newer Tron movie Legacy, it's a visual feast. You'll love it. Like, and even if you think the storyline's a bit naff, which it's not, it's just an incredible thing to watch.
Even if you think it's a bit naff,
recommend
which you're wrong.
Which you're wrong. So I'd highly recommend it, Gary and Mikey, if you're in for a visual feast.
I must admit, I've been toying with the idea just lately of starting to watch the Game of Thrones from the beginning again.
Oh, okay. I've only seen season 1. I never felt the need to carry on.
Oh,
But,
so you've never seen the Red Wedding episode?
Oh, I don't know what you mean.
Ooh.
I remember Drago sort of pouring gold down someone's neck.
Yeah, I've never watched it.
It's really good.
I think I started watching one episode and about half an hour into it, I just went, "This is bollocks."
I was getting cross yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. There was comments on Facebook about the new series of The Last of Us.
Okay.
And they were, I've got to be careful how they were complaining about what happened in episode 2 of The Last of Us. Now, if you played the game, the character Joel, everyone knows what happens to Joel. And they literally did it perfectly as per the game.
Right.
kept true to the game in episode 2 of the series, and people complained about it.
Okay.
They're only being true to the game, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a good game.
Oh, it's a brilliant game.
Because I don't tend to do like zombie sort of things. I'm still going through Assassin's Creed Origins at the moment, just being a completist and looking at treasure and
I
stuff.
thoroughly recommend The Last of Us, and I equally recommend The Last of Us 2.
The rest of The Last of Us.
Have you seen Bethesda have remastered Oblivion?
Bethesda?
Oh.
Yeah.
That the small Welsh mining village?
No, the software company that did Skyrim.
Oh.
Which is so much more interesting.
Remastered Oblivion, which is the one that came before Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, and launched it yesterday.
Ooh.
But if you want a really good game at the moment, and it's been out for a 2 or 3 years, but I've just got into it, is Hogwarts.
Do you know what? I've decided I'm going to get that. I'm going to get it for PlayStation.
Hogwarts Legacy is absolutely mind-blowingly brilliant.
Okay.
I'm going to get it for PlayStation.
I did not think I would ever play it because I'm not really into that sort of thing. But the game as a role-playing game, it's brilliant.
I'm going to get it. I've been thinking about getting it for a while, just because what made me want to get it originally was because everyone was going on about how it should be banned because of J.K. Rowling. So I thought, I want to play that.
Absolute tosh.
Just to piss people off. Jim says, blind allegiance and belief in a person and or cause, in this case, a musician. Yeah. Julian, Gary, usually when people say he'll go far, often unspoken is hopefully as soon as possible. Ruffle. Yeah.
Not in my vocab, sir.
He also says, Jim, I see the point. But to be fair, you could say that of all so-called stars lacking in ability who have adoring fans. I was watching a discussion between Jordan Peterson and an actor from the 90s the other day. And they were talking about this, about how sort of star culture and celebrity culture sort of faded away over the last 5 years or so. So, since everyone sort of started turning away from the media and things like that and stuff. So, because when you used to watch the Academy Awards, it used to have millions of people who, they made a proper like party out of watching it, like with the Eurovision Song Contest and things like that. But now people don't bother. And they said that, like in the early 2000s, the 90s, you could find out what film was going to be out months in advance, and then you'd have people queuing outside the cinemas to watch it every night. He said, now you're lucky if you see anyone in the cinemas.
Well, the last time I went to the cinema was to watch the second Pirates of the Caribbean film, and it was so loud in there that it actually caused me pain. I've never been to the cinema again.
Yeah. Maybe they looked at you and thought, he needs the volume turning up. Sorry, you couldn't resist that one. Ian says, what's that bunny is? Tron Legacy was quite good. I never watched it again, though. Jim says, Julian. Exactly, Julian. Jim says, best reaction to a film I heard was the Tom Cruise remake, War of the Worlds. In the cinema, after the lights went up, dead silence, and a single voice said, what the F?
So that one's got to be my worst cinema experience. I was in Qatar watching that with a mate of mine, Fitzy, and it had Arabic subtitles, so nobody else in the theatre would have spoken English. So it didn't matter. Like they were all just talking on phones and stuff like that, just reading the bloody thing, and we couldn't hear the dialogue because it was turned all the way down because everyone was reading subtitles, so we never went back to the cinema there.
I think the worst ever casting of Tom Cruise was in Reacher, the Reacher films.
Hmm.
Total opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably the best cinema experience I had was down in the Falklands because we had a cinema on the camp.
Astra. Was it Astra?
Could have been, or it could have been that one where he's jumping back and forth in time or whatever.
Oh,
No, the cinema would have been called Astra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know the one you mean. Something Repeat, and Emily Blunt's in it as well.
Yeah, Live, Die, Repeat or something.
Live, Die, Repeat, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, not seen that.
Yeah, we went to the cinema in the Falklands to watch X-Men Wolverine. And it was great because everyone either worked late and went to the bar or just went back to their rooms. It was quiet. There's hardly anyone in there. So we just pretty much had the cinema to ourselves. It was brilliant.
Something I've been watching just recently, and I've got quite heavily into, is the series Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
Yeah, the character from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with.
Yeah, it's what's his name? That guy.
Mrs. Blunt's husband. Oh.
Mr. Blunt.
No, he was in the Benghazi film, wasn't he? About the where the US ambassador was murdered by the insurgents.
I have no idea.
Was it called 13 Hours?
Oh yeah.
Well, talking of 13, one of the best films I'd watch, and I'd watch it again and again and again, is a Kevin Costner film called 13 Days.
Okay.
It's about the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, that sounds interesting. I'll watch that.
Very, very, very good.
Yeah.
He plays an advisor to Kennedy,
Yeah.
and it's about a 3-hour film, but it's bloody good.
One of the ones I liked was with what's her face? He did Tom Hanks. That's it. Where he plays, I think he's American intelligence or something, and they're swapping prisoners in this.
Oh, at the bridge. He was Bridge of Spies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Tom Hanks doesn't often make a bad film, does he?
So a film that I love is called Eye in the Sky. And it's Helen Mirren and
Mirren.
Alan Rickman's last film.
Last
Just
film,
before he
wasn't it?
And he was amazing in that. He played, I think, a general,
Yeah.
British general. And he's just, at the end of it, the final line of his in the film, just I thought it was stunning. It's a wonderful film.
Who's another good actor? Jim's laughing. Julian says, big mistake setting an attack from Mars in modern day when we know there are no aliens on Mars, hence the what the F reaction. But do we, though?
Yeah, do we? Do we? Yeah.
Jim says, star culture fading, not in the US. Yeah, I think it pretty much has in the UK. Would you say, Gary?
Yeah. I think what's happened is, you've got all these bloody wannabes that have, when they do things like, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, and you think, I don't know who any of these people are. They're all C and D list bloody celebs. I think people have just got fed up with it, and at the end of the day, you're just another person. Your job is that you entertain people.
Yeah. Well, one of the things they were saying on that interview was it used to be like, if you look at Jack Nicholson when he was in Batman and things like that, and A Few Good Men, other than like the one interview or whatever he would do with a magazine to promote the film, nothing about him was ever in the press. So you never knew what he got up to or anything. So all you knew was the character that he was playing. Yeah. You didn't know all his little, faults and flaws and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas now you know everything, so it's hard to split the two apart.
Oh yeah, the celebrity farts in the wrong key.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's journalism for you. That's the state
Yeah.
of journalism, quite honestly.
Yeah.
It's a disgraceful profession as far as I'm concerned.
It's certainly gone that way, hasn't it?
Hence why I don't watch the news anymore.
Yeah. Jim says, Julian, just about any film with Tom Cruise is forgettable one for me.
Ooh.
The only thing I remember about Tom Cruise is there is a Mission Impossible and Top Gun. And the only reason I remember Mission Impossible is because I remember the music from it. Because the theme tune was done, I think it's Mission Impossible 2, was done by Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who did the song Rolling.
Yeah.
Julie says, last time I went to the cinema was to see the modern Dunkirk. Very disappointing in my view. I know opinions vary on it.
Yeah,
I think
I
really well.
impressed with it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was great, but I did think they did a really good job of showing that the RAF actually were there involved. It's just that they weren't seen because they were so high up and they were still inland and things.
I still don't think it was as good as the original Dunkirk movie with John Mills and that.
No.
So there you go.
My English teacher, her father-in-law was at Dunkirk.
Oh.
I remember her telling us about it, and she said even when her husband was growing up, her father-in-law never spoke about it. They knew he was at Dunkirk, but he just refused to tell them what it was like, even when they asked. Jim says, Born on 4th July is the only Tom Cruise film that I see a real person being portrayed, not a holographic comic book image of a human being.
I couldn't watch that film.
Yeah, I didn't like Tom Cruise until I saw that movie and saw what he was capable of. And I thought it was a fantastic portrayal.
So I didn't like that film at all.
What's it? There's another film Paul would know. It's a sci-fi one with Morgan Freeman in it as well. That's fantastic as well.
Let's get through these comments before we finish. We've got like 2 minutes. June says, Gary, have you seen the Alan Richardson Reacher series on Amazon Prime? Now done 3 series. Far better than Tom Cruise. In my honest opinion, Cruise plays a wisecracking Yank and has no other gear.
Yeah, but if you've read the books as well, Alan Richardson's version of Reacher is spot on.
Oh, that's a fantastic series. Yeah, love it.
And I have watched all 3 seasons. I have to be honest, I think the second season was the best.
I've only read the first book. The first season was spot on, the book. I thought it was just so well done.
I did think the second season was the best, although I did thoroughly enjoy the
that's
first.
right. We have to shut up, don't we? Terrible job.
Jim says, Julian, regarding Dunkirk, how did the Spitfire not flip over whilst landing at a deep sandy beach? They did it quite a lot. There's quite a few of them been found on sandbars and things like that, and on Dunkirk. Because there's one that was left on Dunkirk beach for years, wasn't there? Because there's photos of the Germans standing on it and looking at it.
Yeah, that was Alan Deer's one.
Yeah.
The first Qatari kit.
They're actually surprisingly good at doing for crash landings. David says that film was Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, yeah.
Jim says, Jim, I have huge problems with the whole portrayal of the RAF involvement in that movie. Jim says, agreed, Born on 4th July was good. Also Rain Man, but Dustin Hoffman's portrayal outshone him.
Yeah, you didn't like Rain Man either.
Dustin Hoffman's amazing.
I thought the film Lawnmower Man was funny.
Not seen that one.
Oh, it's quite funny. Ian says, talking of news, I almost forgot to ask John, have you seen any UFOs lately?
Not sure what you mean. Oh, no.
No
Jim
idea.
Says, Julian. Good one, forgot about Rain Man. Julian, Gary, yes, the John Mills Dunkirk film is fantastic, a much better story arc. Well, I imagine the story arc is pretty much the same, since it's a real life event. Julian says, Gary wholeheartedly agree. Richardson is Reacher.
Yeah.
Julian,
And Richardson
that was
also
Jim's point.
plays a very good part in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. And his character, well, they're all based on true people, but his character is brilliant in it. And the real person got a BC in the war.
Julian says, that was Jim's point, Mikey. The Spitfire should have flipped over, as you said. No, it shouldn't. That's the point. They didn't. The pilots were very, very good at landing them on the sand. They did it quite a lot.
I think the music, the Zimmer
Hans
music
Zimmer.
called Supermarine, while that bit is playing, that scene is spectacular because you're literally holding your breath, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I was.
Jim says, the Spitfire executed a wheels down landing. That's what I don't get. Yeah, they did. Anyway. Jim says, okay, right, Jim. Right. Okay. So we've all been painting wheels, haven't we? Today?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got my
We've had
wheels
a wheel.
glued on, actually, except for the driver wheels.
Well,
but they're all in place.
I put my wheels together and I put the three.
Nice.
Oh,
beams.
so you got them separated, okay.
Oh, yeah, you've got to be really, really careful. Really careful.
I got a lot done in this session. It's been good.
Excellent.
Well, a lot of it was going around and around, but you know what I mean.
Really, really good fun.
Joe says, Gary, looking forward to the next chair force. Ooh, speaking of which, Gary, next Sunday, the 4th of May, we're going to be doing the first Friends of Mars for Hero live stream.
That's right, we are.
On Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
May the 4th be with you. Yes, in the afternoon.
Yeah.
At about 2:00.
Yes.
Ish. As I won't be back home from church till about 1:30.
Wheels down landing on deep soft sand. I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, they did it. They did a lot of strange things during the war.
Good war.
During the war.
Good
Right.
war.
Anyway, John, are you back tomorrow?
I am.
Yeah. Gary can sod off because he's not.
I am going to Birmingham.
Yeah, you're going to Birmingham to play with the rats.
Yeah.
I don't know why I sounded Scouse then.
No,
Dunno.
nor do I. Nor did the Scouts.
No, the radio jammers. Yeah. So me and John and hopefully Waitrose will be back tomorrow at the same time, 12:00.
Yeah.
For the Model T build.
I will be on a train.
Yes. So how far are you on the vignette for tomorrow, John? Are you doing the base, are you?
No, I'll stick with the wine, thanks. No, not yet. I haven't decided how I'm going to go about it. I have to think about it. Maybe I'll go to Frontline tomorrow.
I've got to go to Plan B anyway on mine because the base that I printed off is too small.
Right.
This
See
has
you
been
all
fun.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes. See everyone tomorrow.
See you
Bye.
later. Take it easy. Bye-bye.